Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Krobos. This is Gears Feed. It's time to discuss some harrowing destinations, a part of the Gears 5 campaign that stands out amongst the rest. A mission we're all eagerly anticipating, the return to the New Hope research facility and Mount Kadar. Let's refresh our minds on the callous experiments that took place at New Hope. If you think back to last June when we witnessed Gears 5's cinematic trailer for the first time, I think we all, as huge fans of the series, even those who played casually when each title released, we all shared a whoa moment in harmony as we saw Kate venture into the New Hope research facility. I think that point in the trailer was where I was truly pumped for Kate's story. It was a real holy shit moment for everyone that has played Gears 2 and experienced the story up until now. It feels like a genuine treat to be able to go back there. Now, New Hope was a classified COG research facility that was funded by the Department of Health under the supervision of Dr. Niles Sampson during the time that Monroe was chairman of the COG to look into early cases of lambency and the children of those mutated by it. After operation time, the facility and the research was deemed confidential, therefore being kept secret even from the military itself. That was until it was declassified for Delta Squad. Now, as we all know from Gears 2, Delta Squad was tasked to find intel on the Locust stronghold and Queen Mira from the COG's former outpost. Perhaps by revisiting the facility, this may tie up some loose ends from past games, discovering more about the Locust origins and the potential of their return in Gears 5. So, Dr. Niles Sampson was the director of the facility. He believed the only way to cure rust lung was through genetic experimentation. These experiments horribly mutated the subjects, or as he called them, sires, and even as far as referring to them as their children. His children. Sierra's very own mad scientist. As the research progressed, Niles did not see he was creating monsters, but humans who had, as he called it, a survival advantage. Dr. Niles Sampson had essentially lost the plot. He was a literal fruitcake creating beasts. He said, "Save the children." That's what they always say. In this case, we're truly doing it, or at least we're going to give it our best shot. That's what he said on his research. Other staff members evidently became rather concerned about their research, especially after some of the staff members were attacked by the subjects who adopted hostile and even sadistic behaviour. I can't imagine the subjects being the happiest of folk though, can you? Niles even disregarded all of this and showed empathy towards his subjects, therefore persisted with the research, and following recent leaks and animosity surrounding the facility, Chairman Monroe eventually shut it down. Niles left the sires in stasis and took it upon himself to take his subjects, who we now know as the first generation Locust, to Mount Kadar, later leading to the construction of Nexus. Nexus was the capital city of the Locust Horde and was located near the centre of the Inner Hollow, and as we saw in Gears 2, the COGs sacrificed their own capital, Jacinto, to flood the Hollow, thus destroying Nexus. Now, let's talk about Mount Kadar. One of the standout vistas of the trailer. Really, it looks spectacularly, ominously mysterious and daunting. It's the mountain which held the secret entrance which led inside, and inside the mountain is an old route that eventually leads to Nexus, the Locust capital. Many thanks to our good friend Dr. Niles Sampson. Now, it was not known what happened to the test subjects, but Niles' AI remarked that something terrible awaited inside the mountain. It's also unknown what became of Niles Sampson after he left for his venture with his test subjects, the children of the sires, who eventually became the Locust. Niles left the entire facility under the guard of an AI he programmed his personality into, to guard the sires so they could later be observed as they grew. When Marcus and Dom found the control room for Niles and turned off the power after he released all the sires, Niles' final message before shutting down was a question about whether anyone would listen to the truth when it came out. Did they know what was awaiting them inside Mount Kadar? Did they deserve what we did to them? Should we be punished? When we are fully cleansed and the truth comes forth, will we listen? Since Mira is a descendant of New Hope's scientists, she could be related to Niles or any of the other scientists, though their relation is left unexplored in the games or even the comic books and novels, for now. Returning to Mount Kadar and New Hope is Kate's main endeavour in Gears 5, as she looks to find answers on her origins, who she really is, and whether or not she can begin to control what's happening to her. Because, let's face it, these dreams she's having are probably only the beginning. There's a prevalent question circling the community at the moment, and that's whether or not Kate is actually evil. Is she corruptible? I think the notion of Kate turning into the Swarm Queen is entirely too predictable and maybe a bit cliche at this point, but whatever happens to her, whatever heinous actions she may take towards her loved ones, remember.
A necklace? That's a Locust symbol.
Yeah, so?
She would never be our enemy by choice. I know that.
Because she would die for us.
I know that. But what if it's not her choice?
We all hope for and expect answers on the Locust origins and what actually happened up there in Mount Kadar all those years ago when we finally get to experience Gears 5 at the end of this year. Could this also mean that the Locust are poised to return? What will we find up there? Rod teased the Locust symbol just this week. I think it's all beginning to come together. They're coming back, aren't they? The idea that the Swarm are using their network to essentially reinvigorate the Locust gives us the feeling that the Swarm are, and always were, her plan B. Her insurance plan in case Adam Phoenix cracked it and wiped out her army, only for them to rise again. I think people always did underestimate her. The New Hope research facility and Mount Kadar was the pinnacle of mystery and intrigue that Gears of War had to offer. It's what I loved about Gears 2's campaign, the mystery. It's what keeps players hooked and engrossed in the story. More of that in Gears 5, please. Just before I go, I'd like to say many thanks to those hard-working folks over at Gearsopedia and various other Gears wikis. Without your immense contributions, videos like this would not be possible. So thank you. And again, thank you to you guys as watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I hope I'll see you next time.